Hello. So this is going to be the OMEGLE slash Twitch or whatever Magic Piano tutorial. We're currently inside OBS. This tutorial is going to work on Windows and Linux, and you can probably do the same thing on Mac. But I'm not an expert on that, but the steps are probably very similar. So let's just get into it. You'll need OBS, Open Broadcaster software. Let me quickly show you where you can get that. I'll put the links and stuff in the description so you don't have to type them out. So what you want to do is go to Open Broadcaster something software. There we go. And then you'll find something like this, OBS Studio, obsproject.com. You can just go to that if you're on Windows, on Mac. If you're on Linux, you probably know what you're doing, so you can do that as well. If you're in Linux and you don't know what you're doing, please look up a tutorial how to download anything on Linux. For instance, I'm on Garuda, which is Arch-based, so I have like multiple ways of getting stuff, either through Garuda, like the repository from that, or from the Arch user repository. But technically, you can also do that like through the Linux button, but you need to know what you're doing. If you're on Windows or Mac, don't care, just press the button, I don't know, download it anywhere and you're good to go. You probably get like an exe. If you're on Mac, you get whatever this is. You probably know what you're doing. Like you probably installed something on Mac before, right? Okay. So get OBS, start OBS. So now we're in OBS, right? I've prepared this a bit. So yours isn't going to look like this. You'll probably have like an empty scenes section, empty sources, nothing in audio mixer. It doesn't really matter. What you'll want to do is go to settings. If you want to record stuff, you go to settings. Just go to probably something like output. I can't change that because I'm currently recording, but basically what you'll want to do is like look up on YouTube or whatever, like tutorial how to set up OBS for recording or how to set up OBS for streaming, whatever you want to do. Even if you're not going to stream or record, just look it up. There's like a few basic settings, like a bitrate that you want to have. Like, I stream on Twitch, so mine's limited to 6,000. Otherwise, I'd use more. My video recordings use like the double amount of that. But it depends on your hardware. Basically, this is very complicated stuff, but you don't really have to worry about that. Just look up a tutorial. They'll tell you what you need to do. This may even be like preset, ready to go, right out of the box. One feature that you want to have with your OBS install, so if you're on Linux, you're kind of screwed probably, maybe, is you need the OBS virtual camera, which is a feature that's in OBS nowadays, like by default. But I'm on Linux, so everything's a bit more difficult. But basically, like in this bottom right-hand section, there would be a button like use virtual camera, OBS virtual camera, something like that. If you press that, OBS is going to use everything that you've got set up. We'll talk about that in a second, and put that into a virtual camera. That's what you'll use to go to Omegle. That's what you'll use on Discord as a camera. That's what you'll use wherever. If you need a camera, if you have a camera, like, I don't know, you get the idea. So you need that. If you don't have that, good luck. I don't have that. I don't need it because I just stream on Twitch nowadays. If I wanted to go on Omegle, which I haven't done yet, but if I wanted to do it, I could probably just find a way. There's probably like a plugin that fixes this. I'm actually using not the default version of OBS. I'm using like a I don't even know what it's called. Someone took the code from OBS because it's open source, changed it, make basically their own fork, which is allowed, and added some features. The main reason I do that is so that I can get I don't even browser source. It's somewhere this one browser, because current OBS doesn't really like browsers in Linux as much. So this is, but if you're on Linux, you know what you're doing, okay? So don't bother. I know we're like only 5 minutes into the tutorial, but this stuff is complicated, and I want to address this for like Mac, Windows, and Linux, because, well, if you're not on Windows, you better know what you're doing, and if you're not on Mac, you better know what you're doing anyway. So if you're on Linux, good luck, man. Like, I'm on Linux too. Half the time I have no idea what I need to do, but after like 10 minutes or like 5 hours, depends, I'll get it done, probably. Or not, I'll give up. But let's say you're on one of like the main operating systems, Windows or Mac. This is very easy. Just get OBS. Okay, we are in OBS now. So let's look at the specific OBS setup that you need. Again, this is if you want a camera in like whatever, let's say OMEGLE, or you wanna record a video for YouTube, or you wanna stream on Twitch. It's going to be the same, except that on OMEGLE you'll use the virtual camera, on Twitch you'll use the start streaming button, and for recording you'll use the start recording button, which for me right now is the stop recording button, because I'm recording right now. Again, if you want to stream, you need to configure like streaming. If you want to record, you need to configure recording. Audio, probably don't have to touch that. I don't even know what this is. But like, there's tutorials. So if you get stuck at any point in this tutorial, just go look up like a different tutorial for this specific section. So if you don't know how to turn on your PC, look at a video how to turn on your PC. If you completely break your Linux version during this, I have no idea how you would manage to do that, but if you do, please look up a tutorial how to do that. I'm not an expert on Linux, and I have no idea what you just did. So there's that. Okay, if you're in OBS, so it took like 6.5 minutes to get into OBS now, but we're in OBS, okay? We're almost done. Like, we're literally almost done. This is like the most crucial step. You need OBS, like, or something similar. But like, if you use something similar, I can't help you, probably. You can ask in comments, maybe I can, but like, use OBS. It's free, it's easy, it gets the job done. Okay. What you'll do is, and I'll switch to Magic Piano scene right now. So this is something I set up earlier, but I'll talk you through it. So, hello, this is basically a reduced version of my streaming setup for Twitch. I have like this stuff in the background. Usually up here I have like song requests. Over here I have chat. There's like, I don't even know what it is. This is like, usually up there I don't know, like viewers and stuff. Doesn't matter to you. What matters to you is I have my camera and I have my piano, okay? I use a Roland FP10, but you can use anything that has the option to be connected to your PC through like a cable. Even if Bluetooth, like you're probably gonna get like a massive delay, but like you can fix that in post-processing if you really need to. But again, then you'll have to look up a tutorial for that. I'll run you through my setup. I'll give you some knowledge that I've collected over my journey of like doing this stuff on OMEGLE for like a year now, or more than that, but whatever. You need your digital piano or like whatever instrument. If you wanna use, I don't know, a banjo, like a digital one, sure, go ahead, knock yourself out. But again, you'll have to look at tutorials, you'll have to look at blog posts or whatever, and troubleshoot stuff. A lot of that is just common sense. You don't need to be a magician to make this work. You don't need to be an expert in like computer science. You just need a bit of patience and, I don't know, use like the scientific method to work out problems. Okay, get your piano in frame. Okay, I have it slightly tilted so that when I'm sitting over here with my head, you can actually still see like my notes. You can see like the floating notes and everything. Right now my mic is in the way, but I'm like doing a voiceover basically right now. Or like I'm live recording my voice, but usually my mic's like over here, so I can talk to you over here. But I'm setting up my PC right now, which is like this way. Not over here, it's over here. Okay. Line this up in your OBS frame. For that, you're going to touch your actual camera, which I'm using a simple webcam, which you can get for like starting at $20. But I have one that's like at like 1080p resolution. If you don't know what that means, doesn't matter. That's what I have. So this is slightly more expensive, but you can still get stuff like that for like $40 or like $60. It really depends on your budget. I don't like shit money, so I gotta do with this. It's supposedly 60 FPS for like 720p, but it's only 30 for 1080, so it's kind of crap. But it gets the job done. I prefer having like 1080p in this. Since it's scaled down, you don't really notice that much if I use 720, but whatever. This isn't what the tutorial's about. We're like 10 minutes in. You see where this is going. Like, this is going to take probably like half an hour, maybe. I hope you're ready for that, but yeah. I figured, because most people think, oh, Magic Piano, it's gonna take like 5 seconds. Nah, man, this took me like like days to set up the first time, and after that changing for like now I'm on Linux, I have to do the whole thing over again, and that brings like a whole like list of problems. But you can work through all of these. Okay, don't give up. If you want to do this, you can do it, and you'll get better at this with time anyways. You can do a top-down view. I'm not gonna do that because if I move my camera right now, because I aligned this stuff before recording, it's gonna look like it's going to be annoying because you'll be waiting 5 minutes for me to align this stuff. Get whatever perspective you want. I like the side view because you can see like my hands, you can see piano, you can see the floating notes with like the background, you can see the lights and stuff, you can even see the door. Who cares about that? But get a perspective you like. This is the important step. Right now you're deciding what this is going to look like. For me it looks like this, because this is ideal for streaming, because I can sit over here, my head's up here, I'm not like blocking the whole view with my head being like up here or something like that. You can use a top-down view. There's tutorials for that on YouTube, but basically you just need to find a way to place your camera in your actual real-life room, which you don't need you don't need to know how computers work. You just need to place it somewhere. Okay, you can use a tripod. I'm using like a single like a bendy strut basically, which holds everything in place, and I made like a makeshift fail-safe. If it falls out of the clamp, it's not gonna come down crashing and breaking like in half. Again, this is where you need to think about what you have, how much space do you have in your room, what gear do you have. Yes, you need some camera. Maybe you can use the integrated webcam if you have a laptop. Maybe you can go buy one for $20. Maybe you can go steal your friend's camera, whatever. Like, use your phone if you want to do that. This is especially doable on Mac. Just hook up your iPhone, because you probably have one, which is fine. I have one too. But I can't really use it. I could do that on Linux, but do I look like I want to do that? No. It's like way too much effort. Okay. We've got like, we're 12 minutes into the tutorial. I'm sorry about that, but like, this is what we're working with. We now have a camera set up. We now have OBS set up. We looked at tutorials if we got stuck on the way. Okay. Now, the next step. It's very important. Do you have money? Yes or no? If you have money, you can basically do what you want. If you don't, you probably want to use Embers, because Embers is free. Got a free version. You'll have the Embers logo like somewhere over here. There's really no way around that unless you want to pay a monthly subscription. I didn't care about that, so I just had the Embers logo sitting over there, didn't care. I'm now using something else. It's called Keysight. You can get it on Steam. If this doesn't, like, if you don't know what it is, you can look that up. I think you can maybe even get it elsewhere, probably. I don't know. I got it on Steam because it's very convenient, because Steam runs on Linux very well currently. So all I need to do is launch Keysight inside Steam and stuff just works. If you're on Windows, stuff just works anyways, so you can use whatever you want. Embers works too, will probably work over here as well. I think they may even have Linux support, but if they don't, I can just use like an emulator or whatever. On Mac, they have Mac support, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you need to use either of those. You can use other stuff. There's something like called like C keys or whatever. Just look at like some MIDI visualization software that gives you the floating notes right away. You don't want something that you record like yourself playing, then it renders. You can do that if you want, but you're probably on here because you want to have real-time magic piano. That's what this is all about. That's what the title said of this video. Real-time magic piano for OMEGLE, streaming, recording, whatever. If you're really just recording stuff, you can use something like Synthesia. Just record it. Like, you can probably inside Synthesia, or whatever it's called, there's probably like a button that's called record and a button that's like called save, and it saves an actual video recording that you can use in your post-processing video editor, like, I don't know, whatever you'd be using for that, like DaVinci Resolve is free. What's the one I used? Headphone. There's Pinnacle Studio, which you can get licenses for like fairly cheap, but you just need to like figure out like I don't even use it for that, but you need to. That's like the part of the whole setup that you need to think about. Okay, I can give you like what I'm doing. I'm using OBS for that. Okay, I don't care post-processing. I do all it like real time. Okay, Now it is set up. Let's actually launch Keysight. Oh, there it is. So I have it like in frame now because I set it up earlier, but basically what this would look like to you is without color correction and without a 3D effect. So now you have Keysight. If I go inside Keysight and I actually show the keys, now you can see the keys. And if I were to play like a note, you can see Keysight. And you can do that in Embers as well. Keysight is like 20 bucks on Steam, by the way. It's really worthwhile investment because of the options you have. You don't have like the watermark and so many options, even like for changing stuff inside of Keysight. This is very like great. Again, go on YouTube, look up tutorial for Keysight or look up a tutorial for Embers. How do I connect my piano to Embers? How do I connect my piano to Keysight? How do I change, I don't know, like the color or whatever? That's things that you'll have to look at tutorials for. That's what I did. There's no use in me telling you what I did. I basically just did like some performance settings, like graphics. I turned some of those down or up or whatever. What I did in Keysight is I have the advanced settings on the top left. Then I went to core, which has key length, and I just cranked it down. You want to have this up currently. I'll show you why. If you're back in OBS, and let's say you have everything aligned, having those keys is very useful for lining them up. Okay. So I line up like the lower one and like somewhere in the middle, usually like middle E. It's not perfectly aligned right now, but this is a tutorial. I'm not streaming, and on stream you won't even really notice. But it is good enough. And this can work for basically any perspective, top down, like full frontal, camera at the back, do whatever you want. So yeah, but I'll like turn this off for now. There you go. And one thing that you may want to do inside of Keysight is go to, I don't even know where it is. Oh, randomizer. You can just like use full randomizer or save randomizer, and you can get like different presets. So basically like your notes, your background is going to look different. Okay. Now we're going to do the alignment stuff. So, and I should probably, there you go. What you want to do is you want to go into OBS. Okay, we're in OBS. Like this is basically an OBS tutorial at this point. You're going to add, like go to the sources. Oh wait, you can actually see that. Okay, let me go to this section. Okay, you want to go to sources, press on this little plus sign, and you want to add some kind of screen capture if you have multiple monitors. Or window capture is probably the most convenient. For me, this would be window capture X composite because I'm using X-Face because I'm on Linux. But for you, it's just going to be called window capture probably. Just click on that. You're just going to add that. And oh well, in my case, I currently got whatever. But what you'll do is click on window or whatever it's called on your case and use Keysight. Okay, there you go. We have Keysight. I'm not gonna do that because I did this in the other one. What? Okay, because remember, like we are over here in this. What I'll do is I'll go back to desktop for a second, and like my desktop scene, because we need to talk about something. Inside OBS. So let's say this was, let's just assume that this was Keysight. You know what, let's actually just add Keysight. I think that's convenient. Let's just add Keysight. And let's go to filters, because I got those turned on. Turn all of that off. So what you'll need to do, again, look at OBS tutorials if you're completely lost. But basically, you need two effects. One of them is color correction. What you'll want to do in here is just reduce the opacity, unless you want to do like chroma key stuff, but you'll probably just, because there's an effect for that somewhere, chroma key. That's what I used to do, but nowadays I just do opacity and color correction, which basically makes the whole thing a bit more like transparent, so you get like this hologram effect. Again, you add an effect over here, you pick color correction, then this is going to show up. You go to opacity and you lower that to like 0.6 or something. Just mess around with it until you like it. The other one you need is something called 3D effect. Now, it's important if you're on Windows or Mac, you can just get the StreamFX plugin. But hold up. So the StreamFX plugin has had some controversy, unfortunately, because it used to be like some kind of open source stuff, but someone like stole code, and now everyone's mad, and everything's locked behind a paywall, because copyright. It's complicated. Don't worry. You can get a very similar plugin to StreamFX, which will give you the 3D effect. It will look something similar like to this probably. With like rotation, position, scale, and stuff. You can get that for free, an alternative to StreamFX. I used to be on StreamFX because I got that a year ago, before all of this controversy happened. And I also never really updated my OBS to like a newer version back then. So StreamFX worked until I updated OBS, then StreamFX didn't work anymore because I needed a newer version, and newer versions are behind a paywall. But there's the free 3D effect one. I'll link that in the description. I'm not going to show it to you because I didn't actually look it up beforehand. But it exists, okay? It's what I'm using right now. I think it's called 3D effect. But it could be different because I'm Linux. You'll get that. And what you need to do is you need to mess around with position. So X position is moving it to the left and to the right. Y position is moving it up and down. So if you... well, there's actually rotation, so it's actually a bit weird. Just mess around with those sliders until you're happy. Position, there you go. Position X is moving to the left or to the right. Y is up and down, and Z is back and forth. And you basically need to do rotation first, then do position, then probably go back to rotation. And eventually you might have to adjust scale, which is just shrinking or like making everything like bigger. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I just need to quickly turn this off. There you go. This is what it looks like for me. So it's like tilted, and it's like scaled down, and it's moved. So if you look at like the red frame, this is the actual original frame. And now we have like the changed 3D variant basically. So this is the alignment part. This is going to take you like 10 minutes if you're unlucky. Maybe like 1 minute if you have a very simple like top down. It's very easy, but do whatever you want. So I'll go back to show you my screen. Showing you my screen. There you go. I don't really need Keysight in here anymore, so I'll yeet that out. Go back to Magic Piano. And I forgot to turn the filter on, damn it. So Keysight filters, and turn this back on, and there we go. Now we have this perfectly in place the way we wanted. You can see my hand is actually behind it. There's one thing that you need to pay attention to. In OBS, you'll have, I'll show it. Let's assume for a second that this screen captures my camera and this mic plus piano is Keysight. What's going to happen is that the whole screen is going to be your camera, because everything that's on top is going to show up. So this over here needs to be Keysight, and this needs to be your camera. So you need to move those with like those arrows. Otherwise, it's just not going to show up. I can't emulate that. It could, but I'm not gonna bother. So there you go. So now you have that. You're going on OMEGLE, clicking the virtual camera button, using that on OMEGLE when it asks you which camera you want to use, and you're good to go. Bam. How am I gonna get audio? This is the next big step. It's two sections. You now have the video. You have the floating keys. You set up Embers or Keysight. You set up the camera alignment. You set up OBS. Now you need audio. This is very dependent on the type of piano you have, how you do your audio on your PC. You probably just plug in your headphones, right? I use an actual interface, and I'll probably show you that in... Oh, well, I'll show you. Okay. let's just take my camera and let's turn off Keysight because this is annoying. Also turn on background music. There you go. So this is my secret setup. It's not really secret. I use the Focusrite, I think Solo, like Scarlett Studio Solo or whatever. You can use whatever you want. If you have something like that, you probably know what you're doing. If you don't have something like that, use Embers, please. Because in Embers you can actually generate audio. In Keysight you can't. I'll show you around. So, like in the back, we have a bunch of cables. I think this one specifically is my audio cable. It's just a like aux cable, like what your headphone jack looks like. And I run this through like the back, and eventually it goes into the middle port, this one, with the guitar, like symbol. I just plug that in, change the gain if necessary, and now we have audio. What you can do is, if you're in OBS, you can add something like that, and I'll go back to desktop for that. You can go add like an audio source. In my case it says like pulse audio. Yours will just say like audio input or audio output. You need input basically. If you have an interface like Focusrite, like I'm using for instance, or if you manage to plug in the headphone jack, like use the headphone jack of your digital piano. That's what I'm doing, right? You plug in an aux cable and then you plug that into the line in of your computer. If you're in a laptop, you probably don't have a line in unless you know what you're doing. In that case, please don't connect headphone jack to headphone jack or headphone jack to microphone jack, because you're going to break your PC. Look at tutorials for that. What you can do is you can connect headphone output of your piano to the line in input of your PC. If you don't have either of those, please just skip the step. It's like step, or like ask someone for help who knows what they're doing. You can even ask me in the comments and I'll like try to help you, but be specific, because I'll have to ask you a few times like your setup, what you're using, what you did, what you want to do. Please don't break your PC. Okay, it's not worth it. Very simple, headphone out or line out goes into line in of your PC. Again, the output is taken from your digital piano. If you have a digital piano that only connects with USB, maybe you can somehow get audio from that, maybe. But in case that you can't do that, you need an aux to aux cable. You connect that to your digital piano into the headphone jack or the line out jack if it has that on your piano, and then you connect it to the line in of your computer. If you don't have that, just stop. Like, there's no point. If you're gonna ram that stuff into your headphone output of your PC or your microphone input, there's a chance that you're going to break something, and you don't want to do that because repairs are expensive. Okay. That's my rant. It's just like, this is like the one step where you can break your PC. Unless you install, I don't know, some kind of virus. Yeah, you can probably also break your PC, but if you follow tutorial to this point, you didn't. Wow. Okay, now that you've got audio, let me put my camera back in place. So I'm on Linux. Everything is a bit complicated here, but it's doable. Yes, I'm a computer science student, but I can do this stuff not because I'm a computer science student, but I'm a computer science student because at some point I had to learn how to do all of this on my own. And eventually you either like it or you don't. Okay. So the alignment's probably messed up. Let's check. No, it's fine. Could be worse. Okay. So what you'll do, or what I did, what I do on my setup, is I go to this cool thing called QJack CTL, and I can use, in my case it's the capture FR. Don't try to follow this part of the tutorial. I'm just giving you an explanation what I do on Linux. I use QJack CTL. I connect this port, this white port, FR. It's like, I don't know, Focusrite, like white port or whatever. That's my piano. The left one's my mic. and I've just like crossed them over into like both inputs of OBS, and that's like how you can get to hear this. But you don't need to do that. If you're on Mac, if you're on Windows, this isn't for you, okay? This is just what I did. So if you're a bit stuck on Linux, you can ask me. I'm using like something that's Arch based, and I'm using Pipewire and QJackCTL. Okay. So I'll give you a quick like recap of what we did. So we have 3 sections. Section 1, and I'll actually put this on like full screen. So section 1 is going to be let's just say real life stuff. Section 2 is going to be video, and section 3 is going to be audio. For real life stuff, you need a digital piano. Ideally something that's like USB capable. Okay. And you also want to have some kind of headphone output or a line output. There's tutorials for stuff, again, tutorials. You need a camera. So camera. In my case, I'm just using a webcam. And if possible, get like 720p at least, or like 1080p, that's better. And you want to have like 30 FPS at least, or 60 FPS, that works too. 60 FPS is better, but it's more expensive. That's it. This is all of the stuff that you need, like IRL. Optional stuff is going to be aux to aux cable, okay, audio interface, okay, and maybe you also want to have a tripod. That's for the camera. This stuff is for like the audio, and well, I guess you need like a USB cable, so this isn't really like optional. So USB cable, which you'll use to connect the digital piano to your PC. Okay. Once you've got that, you will also need, I guess this is like section 1.1 or whatever. This is like software. You will need to get OBS, Open Broadcaster software. You will also want to get Embers or Keysight, which is like 25 euros or like what, dollars or whatever, I think. And this is like free slash like freemium. You can get the premium version like without the watermark, but it doesn't really like bother you that much. Trust me on that. So just get like Embers is free. Okay, so like free or a freemium, whatever you want. That's pretty much it. If you're on like Mac, if you're on Linux, maybe you need to do some like looking up tutorials if you get stuck somewhere, but you can use, if you're on Windows, what you can do, this is optional, but it can help. So on Windows, you can get something called Voice Meter. Specifically, the potato version is interesting. I think it's like $5, but you can even get like a free version which crashes every 4 hours. So like a free which crashes every 4 hours. So you need to restart that. It's like a safety feature, so that you pay for it basically. Also, let me go to. There you go. So here's like the free version of Embers, has a watermark. And like the freemium version has like no watermark plus more features. Like Keysight's, if you're going to pay for it, might as well like try if Keysight's better. And like Embers has built in audio generator, but you need like a decent PC for that. So like probably don't bother. If you got that much money, might as well get like a decent digital piano that has decent audio, or maybe you're using like a DAW station, workstation anyways, okay. Yeah, if you're on Linux, you can use QJackCTL. If you're on Arch, other ways, look up tutorials, I guess. By the way, this is that's on Arch, and you're using Pipewire, which is a program. Arch is a distribution or like a kernel or whatever. If you know what Arch is, you know what Arch is. If you don't, probably don't bother. Okay, video. Again, you need your camera, but we looked at that in like real life stuff. So what you need to do is to go into like configure OBS. That's, I guess that's section 1.2 is configure OBS, but like let's just do that in section 2. Configure OBS, look at the tutorial for that. Get 3D effect plugin. Again, look at the tutorial for that. Plus, like as usual, it is in like video description. And yeah, just add like camera, add Keysight, Embers, or whatever you use. And put above camera. So what I mean by that is if this is your camera and this is Embers or Keysight, this needs to go down. Your camera needs to be low, like be below. Otherwise, if I turn on Keysight and if Keysight actually shows up, if I move this below the camera, it's gone. Okay, you want it to be above the camera. Let's go back because we're almost done. You wanna add 3D effect plus configure that. So this is going to be like a bit of work. It takes a bit of patience. And then you'll add the color correction, which like lower gamma to 0.6 or similar. Again, this takes like a bit of like working on it. That's it. You're basically done. You just wanna yeah, like start recording or start streaming or start OBS virtual camera. And with start, I mainly mean configure, because we have to like do audio first probably. Audio, just add input. This is probably going to, I can actually check what it's called. This is a audio capture device. Input capture, whatever. Input capture device. And you don't really need to do anything there. You can go to OBS settings. In audio mixer, you can click on it. So if you add like an audio source, there we go. You can go to this advanced audio properties, like the 3 dots, advanced audio properties. Then you can use monitor and output. That way you can actually hear what's going on. I recommend doing that. So turn on monitoring plus output. You also want others to be able to hear it, obviously. If you're on Linux and you're on Arch, you can use QJack CTL with Pipewire. But if you're on Arch, you know what you're doing. If you're on Windows, you can use voice meter, potato, which, did I mention that? Ah yeah. Again, potato's free, or you pay like $5. Whatever you want to do. On Mac, you can probably get something similar. Maybe you don't even need to do that, but look up tutorials, okay? Otherwise, tutorial. And there you have it. So you got your digital piano, you got your camera, you got your USB cable, and I guess like the aux to aux cable interface if you wanna have that, tripod if you wanna have that. You got OBS from the link in the description. Okay, it's the official one. You got Embers or Keysight. I'll link those too. But there's other ones you can look for, like alternatives if you want. it's always going to be the same. You always need to do like a window capture of those programs, which I guess is like part of Add Keysight Embers, whatever you use. This is a window capture. Okay. So you got that. Again, if you're on Windows, voice meters useful. If you're on Linux, QJack CTL with pipe wires useful. Maybe for you, maybe not. You need to decide that yourself. If you're on Mac, just I have no idea what it's called, but you probably have an alternative to voice meter. Maybe you can use voice meter even. Video, you configure OBS. I'm talking about the settings of OBS, like streaming, recording, all of this stuff, like output. Where were we? 3D effect, it's going to be in the link, it's a plugin. Look at a tutorial on how to install plugins in OBS. It's very easy usually, but look at it. Again, if you're on Windows, you'll have to look for Windows tutorial. If you're on Mac, look for Mac tutorial. If you're on Linux, just good luck. Add a camera. Okay, this is camera recording. It's like camera input or whatever. Add Keysight, that's window or Embers window capture. Add 3D effect, it's a filter. And you wanna add that to Keysight or other, whatever you're using. Also color correction goes to Keysight or whatever you're using. Start recording, start streaming, start OBS. If you're fine with this, if you wanna have audio, wait with that. Okay, so maybe actually this is like the final step. Like final step is there you go. And yeah, audio, just add an input capture device. That's going to be a microphone if you use an audio interface, or it's going to be like the line in on your PC. Use monitoring and output so you can hear your input which you just added, so you can hear like the piano. And then if you're on Linux again, QJack CTL works well with Pipewire. Voice meter works well on Windows, probably works on Mac as well. Look at tutorials. And yeah, start streaming, recording, OBS virtual camera. There's tutorials for everything. Every single step, there's tutorials for that. So I'll just save this and exit this. And yeah, again, if you follow this, so it's 40 minutes, but if you follow this, it'll probably take you like, I don't know, maybe an hour to set it up, maybe 2, maybe 5 days, maybe 5 minutes. Depends on your skill with PCs, your knowledge of what software you can use and stuff. Each step, like connecting the piano to your PC, setting up OBS, setting up Keysight or Embers, like getting the 3D effect, getting configuring the 3D effect and stuff. All of those steps take a bit of time and a bit of like knowledge or tutorials if you don't have the knowledge. And if you do that, you'll end up with something like this. And you can stream, you can record, and it's real time, so you can go on OMEGLE if you want. So, or Discord. So I hope you could follow along. It's a lot of talking, it's a very long video. I apologize for that. I didn't really intend for this to be like 40 minutes. I would rather have this be like 5 minutes. But all of those steps can be very simple, but they can also be very difficult or complex, depending on your level of like knowledge and having done stuff. And so I've done like a fair bit, like connecting audio, like hardware wise. So again, if I just take this, I'll show you my cable mess, okay? I have so many cables over here, and this is very messy. Like, there's no point in showing you this because you don't know what this means because you didn't set it up. Not that you couldn't understand it, but it doesn't help you. Okay, you get this, you hook this into your PC. Mine's over there. Okay, I use an audio interface in between. Again, if you're going to connect this to line in. Don't connect it to anything else. You're going to break everything. Okay, I just need to say that because I don't want to like break anyone's PC. Yeah, I can show you, like, this is like my thing that I use. This goes like on top into this claw and basically shows you all of that. Again, if you want to use like a microphone, if you're like streaming and stuff, this is very useful. Get yourself an audio interface if you want. Having a decent digital piano is useful, especially if you want to use the audio from that digital piano. And don't get discouraged because this video is 45 minutes. If you really want to do that, like I've gone on OMEGLE and spent like 3 hours explaining this stuff to people, and I've got like even a few people to actually follow along. So, and like you can probably get this done in less than an hour if you follow along. It's probably gonna take you 90 minutes. That's my guess. Maybe like 1 hour. I'll put all of the links in the description, and I'll even put like the text document. So this one, which I closed. That was smart. This one. I'll even put this like in the description, so you roughly have an outline on what you need to do. I'll try to add timestamps in the comments for like when each section happens. That's gonna take me a while. So yeah. Yep, close window. So yeah. Thank you for watching. This was the tutorial. I've been very hesitant to make it because it's very long. I did one which was like roughly half an hour, but outdated and had a lot of fails because stuff just wasn't working. But I think this is about as complete of a tutorial as I can give you. A lot of this stuff is really just like looking at tutorials, trying stuff out, seeing what works, and just kind of getting used to the idea that this is a bit complex. But once you've got it like set up, it's very convenient to use, it's very easy to change, and you can probably go to a friend's PC and set everything up in like 5 minutes. Because you really just need OBS, you really just need a camera, you really just need the piano and like maybe an audio interface, and you need to get those like the 3D effect, and you're gone. Like you're set up. Get Keysight or Embers downloaded and you're ready to go. So it's very easy in a way, but it's also takes some time to find something that works on your setup. So yeah, I hope that this is the kind of tutorial that you were expecting. I really wanted to make sure to like give you as many details as you need, but also like let you know that something is like maybe a bit complex or a bit like different depending on what operating system you use and like what your level of skill with all of this stuff. So whether that's audio, video, PCs, software, whatever, hardware, it's really not. I can't give you like a one-on-one tutorial that you can follow along in 2 minutes. It just doesn't work like that. But I hope that this is still what you wanted. So I'll be recording covers again so much soon, I think. I'm actually going on a bit of a tangent, but I want to show you something, and I opened the wrong thing, didn't I? Maybe not. Okay, for my Twitch stream, let's do some promo. I made a list. We currently have 65 songs that I know how to play like by memory. It's all kinds of things. So we got like anime, video games, like even like some actual like music stuff, like hip hop and stuff, TV shows, meme songs, Holly music, whatever, improvisations. We got movie music and stuff on stream. So I have a lot of stuff that I could make covers of or like tutorials of. So I'll do that. I was actually working on a tutorial 6 months ago, like a video. Not a like setup tutorial for like how to do this, so I just did, but like a song tutorial, like the Rent a Girlfriend OP like opening, because that's really fun to play. I recorded like 6 different lines. So basically, what I did is that's unfortunate, but I played like 6 different lines. So we had like bass line, I think 2 of them. We had like top lines, like 2 of them, and we had like 2 or 3 like middle ones with like even chords and stuff. So I was going to layer all of them on top, and you'd have like multiple layers. You'd have a lot of colors. were very beautiful, and then basically my editing software crashed, and now I'm like on a whole different PC, so I gotta transfer everything, try again, but I'll do that video at some point. So yeah, if you want to see me soon, I stream on Monday and on Wednesday, usually every week. Sometimes the Monday stream actually doesn't happen because I'm busy, but usually I stream like twice a week on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BonaCiao. It's linked in the description probably as well. If not, go to my link tree. I have a link tree on my YouTube channel profile. If you go to like channel details or whatever, I have a link tree. There I've got all of my socials I currently use, especially Instagram, where I do usually like a post the day of the stream, or like the day before the stream, or like a few minutes before the stream, where I either announce the stream, which means the stream's happening, or I don't, which means maybe it's happening, or maybe I forgot, or maybe I'm busy. Usually, like sometimes I even announce that the stream isn't happening. So if you wanna like request songs with like the thing I showed you earlier, the list, if you wanna watch me learn stuff, if you will have questions, even if you need like help with stuff, you can probably join the stream. I'll give you like a quick handout, like just a bit help. I have a Discord server, which I'm very inactive on. It's not even finished setting up yet, but probably sufficient if you just join, ask if you have questions. It's going to be faster than using YouTube comments. Yeah, you can also like message me on Instagram. I've had someone do that. That's also the reason why I actually decided to do this video today, because you asked me to make one. So yeah, thanks for watching. Maybe see you on Twitch, please. I need viewers. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know down in like the comments down below. I'll try to help you, but you need to give me information. Without information, I can't help you, and like a conversation on YouTube comments is going to take like 5 years. So if that's going to be the case, maybe join my Discord. Maybe you can even like video chat, like voice call is sufficient, and you show me like your screen, and I can help you troubleshoot like OBS or whatever, help you with like the camera angle and lining everything up. So I'd prefer that over a YouTube comments discussion. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you on the stream maybe, or like the next video, which is going to be the Rent a Girlfriend opening, the first one, by the way, if you were wondering. But it's gonna take me like at least a week, probably closer to 2 weeks. I'll probably get started on that now anyways, but that's gonna take me a while. So see you guys, and thank you for watching, thank you for sticking around, and I hope I could help you with this tutorial, and maybe we'll even like do something like go on OMEGLE someday on YouTube, who knows. So bye bye.